Now,
Yes.
I don't know.
Hey,
Man,
Ryan.
has to do this.
You can stay on
It's
us until I
incredible.
say
You're not even listening. Alyssa, like, what's
bless
up?
you for a sec. This is why when I talk back and forth with y'all, boys in the studio, and you talk about being hungry or being cold, I'm always like, yeah. It's football season, which means nothing matters. It could be 150 degrees, but yeah, Peter, it is extremely hot out here today.
We got 2 minutes until we throw it back up here into the booth. What's something that when you were doing about this team?
So obviously Nico making his first start here today. We're going to talk a lot about him. We're going to help fans. Tennessee fans already know a lot about him, but we're going to a lot about him from pregame routine to what he's been working on throughout the offseason. But Peter, probably the most important and most exciting storyline for me is Brew McCoy being back on this field after what happened to him in that South Carolina game last season with that injury. I got to talk to him last week about finding what his identity was outside of football, learning who he was as a man. And if you think the boo is not going to be deafening in here today, I don't know what to tell you. I can't wait to see him.
I was going to say, are you just pulling for the Cookie Monsters as well, too, right?
That
So what's the
too.
story about the cookies?
Yeah, so don't quote me on this, but I believe if Brew scores a touchdown, the fans here get 2 cookies from a very popular cookie establishment here in Knoxville, Moonshine Mountain Cookies, I believe. And we did go yesterday, and they're really... Taylor and I are going to go get cookies.
How cool is this? Band on the field, getting ready to run through the city, all of it.
I have heard some of the things you've said throughout this show. Tennessee fans are buzzing. They should be. This is an underrated program heading into 2024. They are my dark college football team. This rock has so much talent, and all of these fans, 100,000, know that. It's going to be loud in here.
Hopefully they're as fast as Smokey that just ran right behind. That was one of the best traditions. College. That did
The late, great John Ward, the voice of the Vols. He used to say at this time of year, those 5 words, it's football time in Tennessee. The Vols are back in Neyland Stadium to play in-state foe Chattanooga. Welcome to SEC football, presented by Allstate. Josh Heupel in his 4th year as the head coach at UT, bringing his team out in the smoky gray unis today on this steamy hot Saturday. And SEC Saturdays start right here in Neyland Stadium. He's the College Football Hall of Famer Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Sarser. You'll see Alyssa Lang on that hot field in just a moment. Had they had a college football playoff that had 12 teams in it 2 years ago, Tennessee would have hosted a game on that field 2 years ago. They have one of those playoffs now. It's the story of the season. Is Tennessee a legitimate contender to get in it?
Absolutely. Based on the momentum that they've been able to build the last 2 seasons under Josh Heupel. For the first time in 20 years, the Vols finished in the top 20 in back-to-back campaigns. They've got a lot of talent returning. They've also replaced some parts that might be key components to what should be and could be a playoff run at the end of the season.
Starting with, watch this, Nico Iamaleava. Remember the name, the quarterback at Tennessee comes in here with a lot of potential and promise. He started the bowl game, he was the MVP. This is his first start in Knoxville today.
Accounted for 4 total touchdowns, 3 rushing, 1 in the air. And what was his takeaway? Immediately after the MVP, he goes to offensive coordinator Coach Halsley. I left a lot of yards on the field. And you think about that type of performance that he was able to do in his only start as a Vol. Boy, you have to like that mentality coupled with his physical skills.
First true freshman or redshirt freshman, any kind of freshman to start for the Vols in the home opener since Brent Schaefer did it 20 years ago for Tennessee. Let's take a look at today's Fubo TV keys to the game. What do you got for us, Dench?
Well, when you look at the opposition today for the Mocs, they have to stay on schedule. They don't want to get behind in the down and distance, get obvious passing downs. Defensively, they have to win some one-on-ones in some of the passing scenarios because of this Tennessee weaponry in their offense. And for the Vols, offensively, we talk about the passing game and the quarterback, but can they get the run game going? And we know for a fact that they want to be able to affect the passer. They did a great job of it a season ago. Some new faces in the secondary. Pass defense's best friend is a good pass rush.
Chattanooga won the toss. They deferred. Tennessee will receive the opening kickoff in the 42nd meeting between the two schools. UT leads the series 37-2 to 2. The last meeting was in 2019. Mocs have not won here since 1958. Just look at Neyland Stadium rocking on Rocky Top to start the season. Alan Karajic will kick it to Cam Selden. Welcome back, college football. Selden at the goal line. Tripped up, but gets past the 30, up near the 34. To the field we go. And Alyssa Lang.
Yeah, guys, Tennessee fans so excited to see Nico Iamaleava in his first start. Stinch, you talked about the last time we saw him, MVP of the Citrus Bowl, yet he went into the locker room and talked about all the opportunities that he felt he left on the field. When I asked him about it this week, he was jonesing to get back out here and take advantage of some of those opportunities and that chemistry that he's built with his team. He's gotten better at everything when it comes from handling loud outside noise, confidence in reading defenses. Coach Heupel today wants a clean show. Be efficient, have a short memory, but go out there and rip it. You're the quarterback, the artist, you have the paintbrush.
Heupel's teams have scored on the opening play 5 times in the last 3 seasons. Iamaleava goes to the sideline and throws a good ball. That's complete up to the 46. Brand new receiver, Chris Brazel, came over from Tulane. He gains 11.
Already over the football. What a way to start your opening campaign.
Iamaleava will hand it off to Dylan Sampson. You might recall Sampson was the workhorse this time last year. Had those 4 touchdowns against UVA to start the season. Was banged up a bit, but finished strong. Over 100 yards against Iowa in the bowl game. He picked up 7. They go to him again, and he's right near a first down. He's passed it down to the Mocs 42.
Well, so much is made about the passing attack. The Tennessee offense wants to run the football. And that time, you got a timeout by the Mocs. And you can see the tempo jumps.
Timeout, Chattanooga, their first time out of the half. It's a 30-second break.
Mocs coached by Rusty Wright in his 6th year as the head coach. Fastest to 30 wins in school history as an alum of the Mocs. He's never had a losing season. They're ranked 8th in the FCS polls to start the season. They went to the FCS playoffs last year, beat Austin Peay in the first round, then lost to Furman. Stinch, this team looks better than last year's team.
They absolutely do. I mean, high aspirations for the Mocs this season as well. Picked to win the Southern Conference. Mentioned they have got really the first time that they've ever had a returning quarterback under Wright. So this is a luxury for them and an opportunity to put together a really strong season.
Yeah, we'll see Chase Artopius, the quarterback for the Mocs, here shortly, but it's Nico's turn. A 6'6", 215-pound redshirt freshman from Long Beach, California, has a 1st and 10, and he'll hand it off again to Sampson, who's got daylight inside the 30, running behind that new left tackle, Lance Hurd.
What a great pickup by the Vols and Lance Hurd, an all-conference freshman team member at LSU a season ago.
Down to the 30, and now a little trickeration as they do a sweep. It's Brew McCoy inside the 25, down to the 21, and you hear all the Brews. This man had a gruesome injury on this field against South Carolina last year. He is the heartbeat of Tennessee football.
And what a great way to get him an easy touch, guaranteed touch there.
Now looking to throw. Iamaleava throws a first down completion to Brew down to the 16-yard line.
Now the challenge for any defense is to recognize you're going to see a ton of plays, but can you keep this offense in front of you, bend, but find a way to stop in the red zone?
Now it's back to Sampson, and he doesn't have much there. Gets down to the 15. Diarco, Perkins, McAllister on the tackle on a minimal gain for the Vols. this first drive of the season, Iamaleava, offensive MVP of the Citrus Bowl. 3 rushing touchdowns in that game. Also had a passing score, the true dual threat.
You can see how deliberate the offense can become in the red zone. Not an area that the Volunteers were very efficient in a season ago.
And he'll hand to Sampson again, and Dillon gets down inside the 10. It'll be 3rd down from there. Sampson is the junior from Baton Rouge. They lost Jalen Wright and Jabari Small, who ran out of eligibility. Wright led the SEC in rushing last season. Now it's Sampson's turn, the workhorse on this first drive, and Vols have their first 3rd down. 3rd and 4. There's a shovel pass caught by Sampson, and somehow he turned it into something, but it's 4th down as Quay Wiggles stopped him short.
Had an opportunity almost for a tackle for no gain. And you see Tennessee, you talk about aggressive. 4th down.
39% on this down. They go straight ahead, but nope, there's a timeout first. Coach Heupel came down there, called timeout.
Tennessee's called their first charge timeout of the half.
Coach Heupel was inside the 10-yard line. I mean, he ran down there, made sure the official got it.
Coach Heupel and Nico Iamaleava will talk about it. We'll be back in just a moment. Josh Heupel and the Vols have the 10th play of the drive. It's a 4th down inside the Mocs 8-yard line. Coach Heupel's team wasn't good in the red zone scoring touchdowns last year, Stinch, until Nico Iamaleava showed up in the bowl game. They were 4 for 4. See if Nico keeps it or hands it to somebody here on this 4th and 2.
You see a little hard count with a quick clap. Got the Mocs to rock in their stance, trying to get a free first.
He does hand it to Sampson, and Sampson moves the pile down to the 1. 1st and goal, Tennessee.
We talked to the coaches about Sampson yesterday. Boy, they were plenty excited to have him back in the backfield.
And give it to him again real quickly. Touchdown, Volunteers. Tennessee's running backs never fumbled the ball last year. Sampson, you can always count on him to deliver. Crucial moments, converting the 4th down, and then another touchdown on the opening drive of the season. And the first kick of Max Gilbert's career is a good extra point, 7-0. Tennessee, 11 plays, 65 yards, using the ground game quite a bit.
A lot of runs. That's a new quarterback's best friend. Got this drive going, though, with a little improv. Iamaleava able to extend on that first throw, completed 3 passes, but it was the ground game. They finally got the balls, not only a conversion, but a touchdown on their opening possession.
7 Dylan Sampson runs on that first drive.
A lot of work for him. This is an offense that rattles off a ton of plays. There's a reason why they led the conference in rushing. This is a vertical passing attack built off a solid run game.
Just want to remind everyone of this as we get used to this new era in college football. Can you imagine if they have a playoff game here in December?
Yeah. Well, the home field advantage.
Vols would have had one had they had that format 2 years ago. Certainly are one of the teams to think about for that 12-team playoff this season. That's Josh Turbyville. He's still kicking off the Knoxvillian. And the Mocs start their offensive season at their own 25-yard line. Chase Artopius, the senior from Orcutt, California. So walk-on at UCLA. He wanted to learn how to be a coach under Chip Kelly. And then after a few years of being a walk-on, he said, you know what? Maybe I'll transfer somewhere and try to play some quarterback. And he's been terrific for Coach Wright.
Yeah, luxury, really. We talked about it a little bit earlier. First time under Coach Wright where he gets to coach a returning starter at the most important position offensively. And they're definitely going to lean on him. They say that he can operate this offense completely. Can the offensive front hold up?
Played in 10 games last year, threw 20 touchdown passes. Hands to Reggie Davis. Davis finds some space and gets ahead past the 30. Up past the 32-yard line where Andre Turrentine made the tackle.
It's just an inside zone run. Great job and patience by Davis, waiting for something to open up backside. A lot of times you shut down that play side, there's a little bit of room. They're going to need Davis to have a good day.
Getting 7 yards against one of the best defensive fronts in all of college football. This time, Artopius keeps it, throws. It's a first down completion. Past the 35, up near the 37. They did push him back as Jalen McMurray pushed Sam Phillips way back, but his forward momentum gives him a first down.
This is what we can expect to see a lot out of Chattanooga today. Move the pocket, see if you can be positive in the ground game. As you mentioned, that opener 7-yarder, that's a fantastic way to get it going, but move the pocket. As you already mentioned it, Taylor, this defensive front, they roll deep and they are talented for the Volunteers. What you want to do is be able to have your playbook available to you if it does make it to third down. So far, pretty efficient start for the Mocs offensively.
Up to the Tennessee 38-yard line. And a whistle. Today's referee is Jason Autry.
Timeout was called by Chattanooga. It's their second of the half.
It's been a flurry of timeouts. We've seen 3 timeouts already. Wow.
And only just over 5 minutes into the game, Vols up 7-0.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
It is a beautiful city. It's one of the best college campuses you'll find in the country. It's a steamy, hot Saturday for Rusty Wright as the Mocs came up here to Knoxville. See what their record was last season. Terrific year and bring back a ton of returning talent. Now they have to play UT today and then play at Georgia State next week. And then it's the entirety of their FCS schedule coming up after that. Chase Artopius, the Mocs, after a first down, will turn, hand, and Reggie Davis will get greeted by several Mocs. The ball's on the ground, and the Vols say they've got it. They do. Joshua Joseph recovered it, Stinch. It was Tyree West that forced it.
Watch the knockback, the way this started. Wow, great job by the defensive front. Power to change the line of scrimmage. Davis could not get downhill, and he gets clocked by Tyree West. That ball comes shooting out. We talk about the way the Chattanooga offense had started pretty efficiently. Nice run on that opener, move the pocket, get a first down, you come right back, and that defensive front just changed the line of scrimmage, knocked it back about 2 yards.
How about that forearm by West to punch that ball out? Iamaleava's got a short field and throws ahead to the 31 to Brew McCoy. Now, a new rule in college football is there's helmet communication that the quarterback now has with the coaching staff, Alyssa.
It's not the only new rule that teams can utilize. We also have seen iPads on the sidelines. More on that in a moment.
Iamaleava throws again down inside the 21 to McCoy, Alyssa.
One of those things that, you would think would be an interesting adjustment, but I talked to Nico this week about the in-helmet communication. He said, I thought it was cool. I've watched the pros do it for such a long time. It's just one more way that I'm getting ready for the next level. When it comes to the iPads, that's been interesting to watch so far too.
Head to Sampson. Dillon breaks it. First and goal, Volunteers.
Just so many different ways offense can hurt you. This offense, the formation itself spreads you out. And then the tempo, get a light box. Not many defenders in the line of scrimmage.
Iamaleava, touchdown pass directly across the middle. It is a dart to Ethan Davis. tight ends had 44 catches with 9 touchdowns last year. Had to replace their top 2 pass catchers. They have 3, including Davis, that Coach Heupel loves. And again, Max Gilbert won the kicking duty, the freshman from Memphis, and his first 2 extra points of his career are good.
You think back to the turnover, you're trying to shorten this game if you can. Defense gets you the football, and the offense capitalizes. Find themselves in the end zone once again, and Ethan Davis, new face at tight end, able to get his first touchdown of his Tennessee career.
Well, the last drive took 10 plays and a big chunk of time. This one just 4 plays and over a minute. After Tyree West forced the fumble and gave the Vols a short field. The Vols lead the country in first quarter scoring the last 3 years. Mr. Heupel doesn't like to waste any time.
No, he's an anxious guy, to say the least. Gets out there and he's ready to get rocking and rolling. You think about the number of times, 5 times they've scored on the first play, period. Not first quarter, just first play. First run out of the trap. Don't bang your head on the goalpost, kid. They do that here more often than just about anywhere else.
You saw the other games that are coming up later today. Alabama without Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer coaching the Tide tonight against Western Kentucky. Florida and Miami in a steamy swamp in Gainesville today at 3:30. And Mr. Stinchcomb may have some neck pain as he turns around and sees that #1 Georgia leads Clemson 3-0 on ABC.
Climate-controlled environment down there for those guys. I wonder what color jerseys the Gators are going to wear tonight.
It was an interesting choice to wear these smoky uniforms that Tennessee is wearing today, showing respect to this state and to the tri-state area. But yeah, maybe some whites from the Gators today in Gainesville.
Man, if I was a senior for the Florida Gators, I'd be like, let's wear all white today, coach. Miami can wear whatever color they want.
That's what the Mocs are wearing, with Artopius at quarterback at his own 25. Chase will throw underneath, and at the feet of Lance Jackson. Boo Carter from Chattanooga had the pressure right there on Artopius. Remember that name. Boo's fighting for some playing time in a completely new secondary.
Talking with Coach Banks, defensive coordinator, yesterday, he said if you ask anybody on this team, they're going to tell you this kid's confident and he is not scared to compete. They love his demeanor.
Artopius throws to the sideline. That ball's caught up at the 31 by Javen Nuna Watley to Alyssa.
Taylor, since you were talking about Boo Carter being out there as a freshman battling for playing time, well, he's battling with Christian Harrison. That's in lieu of a Jordan Thomas injury during camp. They thought he was going to be the starter. Coach is telling us that no matter who started this game between Boo or Christian, it wouldn't matter. Both of them would get a ton of snaps as they try to figure out the future of that position.
On 3rd and 4, Artopius throws it at the feet of a receiver. It's incomplete. Sam Phillips was the intended target. Volunteers all over Artopius as he threw that football.
Well, this time, watch Caleb Herring at the bottom of your screen. Just missed the cut block. Actually kind of overloaded that side. Got 3 pass rushers, only 2 potential blockers. Sam Phillips is saying, hey, they're holding me. I don't know that it would have mattered. That time Artopius got bodies landing all around his feet.
Heath J.U. will punt it to Squirrel White, dangerous receiver and return man. Still looking for his first touchdown, returning a punt as he stands at his 25 and lets it hop, fields it at the 21. And there goes Squirrel past the 40.
He can be an electric playmaker. You see him just get upfield. It's that first would-be tackle that makes you hold your breath if you're in that coverage unit, because if he's able to get loose, he's a guy. We talked to the coaches yesterday. We're going, what does he need to do differently? And they said, nothing, just be Squirrel.
We talked about what's new with this expanded 12-team playoff format where the top 4 conference champions will receive byes in the quarterfinals. The other 8 teams will play on campus in first-round games. Conference realignment. Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC now. Iamaliava looks down the field and he throws a bullet inside the 40 to Brazel.
You think this Vols coaching staff and personnel are excited about Brazel's addition? Man, they were gushing about his skill set.
23 yards to the man comes over from Tulane. And Iamaliava, that's another laser. It's Dante Thornton. Touchdown, Tennessee. Just 2 plays and 59 yards for Nico. 2 perfect passes to give Tennessee this big lead. You know, they were all over the outskirts of this stadium this morning. 3-4 hours before, they wanted to see Nico Iamaliava come into the stadium. Well, he starts 8 for 8, 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. Identifiable backdrops in our sport. Neyland Stadium on a Tennessee Saturday afternoon. Josh Turbeville kicks it through the end zone. This is the first game we have for you today on SEC Network. Our stellar lineup rolls on at 4:15 Eastern. South Carolina hosts Old Dominion, and then we cap the night with Kentucky hosting Southern Miss. You can catch Mississippi State and Eastern Kentucky as Jeff Levy makes his debut with the Dogs. Number 6 Ole Miss and Furman are playing in Oxford, and Auburn plays Alabama A&M. That's all on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. You can watch anywhere. I got to tell you, our guys Dave and Aaron, I think they've got a good one with the Gamecocks and Old Dominion next. Then TV Tommy Cole and Jordan tonight. Kentucky and Southern Miss. Man. Those two have started the season before, and it's been a close call in recent years.
Yeah, buddy.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You know, the Mocs flip-flop their offensive linemen, and those usually at that left tackle spot. Today it's on Marion Krim over there at left tackle. He flips over to right tackle. Mocs are also without what would have been their 2 starting offensive guards. A bit short-handed in this game along the line of scrimmage, and it has showed up that last series and certainly towards the end of the first opening possession.
Came out, got a first down, but then turned the ball over, and Tennessee has kept punching. 1st and 15 for Artopius, who drifts back, and that's deflected at the line of scrimmage. Omari Thomas, Big O with the deflection.
That time protection actually had held up pretty good. So Artopius had a good pocket to work from, but if you can't get home, what's the rule? Slide protection, you see that. That's as clean as you can hope for versus this defensive front. But what do? You get your hands up in those passing lanes. Great job getting that big old paw up to get a pass deflection at D-line.
Now 2nd and 15. Artopius throws the other way. Caught. Nice turn and nice move up past the 30 to the 33 by Sam Phillips. He'll set up 3rd and short. Defensive coordinator Tim Banks for the Vols. He's got one of the best defensive fronts because he has quite possibly the deepest defensive front in college football.
I mean, and not only are they able to roll guys in there, but they really like the depth and their ability to continue to affect the game. It's not like they drop off that much when they roll in new faces.
Of course, that includes James Pierce, potential 1st-round draft pick next year. 3rd and 2 for Artopius, looking over at that Mocs bench. The play clock's down to 2. 1. Didn't get it off.
Well, you could see, Taylor, it looked like they were trying to move They're protecting back from one side to the other. Lance Jackson.
Delay game, offense number 9. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
The big challenge for a lot of offense is going to be they want to be able to find where's James Pierce Jr. He moves around a lot. That time he was to the left side of that offensive formation. You can see Artopia saying, hey, Lance, I'm going to need you over here where James Pierce Jr. is. Could not get that figured out before they ran out of play clock.
On 3rd and 7, Artopius has to go underneath, incomplete. Everybody covered up down the field. Omari Thomas might have gotten a piece of the ball again on that throw. It's 4th down.
Yeah, and you could see, part of the strategy here for Chattanooga is slow down that pass rush. They're cutting on some of these pass plays. They're supposed to be a quick hitter. Ball comes out just to try to slow those pass rushers down, get at their legs, make them play your blocks. So far, the Volunteer defensive front handling it quite well.
JU's first punt went 48 yards, but he gave Squirrel White a chance to return it. Tries to kick it away. It's a good punt, and Squirrel can't return it. 52 yards, and Tennessee will start at the 20-yard line. We're going through those changes as there is another flag down on the field. See what that's about.
Looks like initial indication is going to go against the Mocs.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 82. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st down, Tennessee.
So we're talking about the college football playoff expansion. Now there's now a 2-minute timeout
Yeah.
that we're all going to have to get used to in college football. And we keep going on this helmet communication. As you were saying, Alyssa, Coach Heupel is still going to do all the other things he was doing, and now he's also going to talk to the quarterback.
The goal is to keep it simple as well. That goes for the defensive side of the ball. Tim Banks was saying the same thing. You don't want paralysis by analysis either, but it's not the only way to communicate. We're going to get this clip in of the guys using the iPads on the sideline as well, because I've seen them break into different position groups. As soon as these drives are over, coaches are combing through film with them, so a lot of new tools.
Yamaliava goes up past the 14. He'll pick up 4. It's supposed to turn on right now. As soon as the play clock resets.
Yeah, they can speak to him.
They can speak to him right now. And obviously when you snap it that quickly, you can't say much. Iamaliava will take off with the flag down past the 20. It would be a 1st down.
A couple plays in a row. Coach Heupel's not going to like those. The previous one, kind of a unique formation. 2 guys in the backfield next to him.
Holding, offense number 74. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 2nd down.
It's big John Campbell in his 7th year of college football.
All right, so here he is right here. Always love to circle these old linemen during a penalty. And he's just got those hands outside. And what happens is, you see the grab jersey. Wow, he got his money's worth. And the challenge was in the previous play too, looked like a little bit of confusion as to who would end up with the football.
Now on the doorstep of their own end zone and just hand it off, get some breathing room, back up to the 17 for Selden, a sophomore from Virginia. Shoulder injury in the spring, but good to go now. Iamaliava throws to the 20. And that's a good ball to Holden Stays, the Notre Dame transfer.
It makes for an easy conversion, really, Taylor. You look out there, you see who's off, and just spit the football out there quickly on short yardage to go.
Iamaliava throws the deep ball. Got him! Dante Thornton again.
It's just so hard to get your cleats in the ground to play defense versus this ball offense. The chain crew was nowhere close to getting set up, and just as well, because on that 1st down play, you're already on your horse. They're nowhere close to getting set up here.
Selden take it down to the 16. Thornton 2 catches, 95 yards already.
Well, so here's Thornton. He's up here all by his lonesome, all right. You can see the chain crew They're just like, yeah, forget it. No sense in putting these down. They're already going for another big gainer. How about Thornton? He's really kind of number 4. As you see, Joseph helped off the field. That would be a significant blow to the Mocs if he can't return. As you see the senior out of Sharpsville. He certainly, this is, it's a consideration, Taylor, in these games. I'm not saying anybody lays down, but we already talked about it. Chattanooga has a very big season in front of them. This is a good football team. And they certainly don't want to be dropping guys as, versus a quarterback.
What do you think of that start?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's like unconscious? Are his eyes open? Can we see on the other side of those visor? Because right now he's playing about as cleanly as you can. And I will say, we've seen a couple of plays. They say what makes him distinct, the skill set wise. He said his ability to improvise, and he had to do it on the very first play of the game. He had to do it on the very first play of this series. Find a way to gain yardage when it didn't go quite the way you wanted to.
Wants to throw, always can take off. And that's what makes him so dangerous, is you don't know what he's going to do. As Caleb Webb couldn't make the catch. That's his first incompletion of the game. Coaching staff yesterday, including Joey Halsey, the offense coordinator, was talking about just how level-headed he is and how they try to get him to be a little more passionate at times, to get into, his teammates a bit, but he's a one chill kid that never gets rattled and stays even-keeled.
Yeah, well, don't let the smooth taste fool you. It's a big dude. He is imposing. Not a big, thick quarterback, but he's every inch of 6'6".
He has a 3rd and 6 here. Another shovel pass, and looks like Selden went the wrong way there. Back towards the interior of that defensive line, and Vols will lose yardage. It'll be 4th down.
Nice play by Chris Victor. Yeah, you're exactly right. Just get upfield. Instead, he spins right into the would-be tackle. Victor does a good job of getting him on the ground.
Tennessee had a kicking competition that lasted all of August between Max Gilbert and Josh Turbyville, and Gilbert won the job. The redshirt freshman from Memphis has made his 2 extra points. This is his first field goal attempt as a Vol from 36 yards. And it's good. 24-0 Tennessee here in the first quarter.
Did a good job of salvaging this drive. Didn't start out great. Got the penalty early. Maybe a little confusion. You see his ability to get outside the pocket, make something happen. Spits one in there to his tight end for a touchdown. Then another to Thornton across the middle. Thornton having himself a day this afternoon.
Alyssa, usually we like to leave, 3-4 hours for the game to get over here to the stadium. I was blown away at how many people were here 3 hours for the game to see Nico.
They're excited, and they've been excited for a while, right? I do our signing day shows at the SEC Network, and I remember the day that he signed to come to Tennessee. There was so much buzz around him, but buzz comes with pressure, right? So I talked to him this week about how he's handled that noise since before he even stepped on the field as a starter. He gave Joe Milton a lot of credit going back to last year. He said, Joe had so many critics, dealt with a lot of pressure. Watching him and the way he went to work to focus on himself, what your team wants to accomplish, tuning out the outside noise. You guys talked about it. He's cool, calm, collected. When I asked him, what goes through your mind running out of the tee, your first start, he was like, yeah, I just want to win. That's all I care about. Coach Heupel told us yesterday his emotional maturity is through the roof. He said he's a lot more mature than I was at his age.
Well, he's been terrific so far. Spot duty last year, Citrus Bowl MVP, and my goodness, what a start. 11 of 12, 157 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter here against the Mocs in week 1 of the 2024 season. Topius with a flag down, throws underneath and to his tight end, Jake Gibson. Gibson, one of those super seniors.
Illegal motion, offense, number 6. Moving forward towards the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
get a positive play, and then unfortunately timing of the snap, cannot be making any movement, progress towards the line of scrimmage as you go in motion. And that time, Jaden Watley just a little bit early as he bent towards the line of scrimmage. Do that in the CFL, not down here.
Nuna, as they call him. Terrific FCS receiver for the Mocs. On 1st and 15, Davis squirts out of there and gets 4. Keenan Peely with the tackle. First time we've called his name in 12 months. Freak triceps injury versus Virginia in the opener last year. Believe it or not, this is his first game in Knoxville.
Boy, are they eager to have him available again. A guy that they missed, as you mentioned, nearly the entire season a year ago. He's the one that's getting all the communications too, incidentally, from defensive coordinator Tim Banks.
2nd and 11, Davis. It was Joshua Josephs who looked like he had just as good a chance as Davis to take the football.
Triggered right now, just aggressive. So you see, coming off the edge, Josephs did not flinch at all on that mesh point. Kept working upfield. Looks like it was going to be collapsed inside out anyway. Big Bryson Eason collapsing the line of scrimmage. Former linebacker, incidentally, Bryson Eason.
That's right. Now interior defensive lineman. Davis jumps over a defender and get it out to the 28, where Will Brooks made the tackle. 4th down.
It's going to be difficult for most of this season. You look at Tennessee and some of these offenses, when you come in here, or you're going to face this Tennessee, even at your place, this Tennessee defense, that defensive front's going to be a handful. We've hammered it home, and it's true. And part of that is going to really come in handy as this secondary that's got new faces in the back end gets more acclimated.
Now it's a Jude Kelly punting this time for the Mocs. It's a low soccer-style kick. Take a Mocs bounce.
Wow, really effective.
Down to the 22-yard line. It's a 49-yard punt. How about this start for Josh Heupel?
I'd say it's pretty sporty. You got the field goal, so you want to look for a pock mark, maybe that. But that was on a drive that, as we said, didn't start out that cleanly. Able to find a way to get it in there, spin a different direction, and you probably got another fresh set of downs, maybe poke it in the end zone. But you see, to open the game, it was more run heavy. Just the 3 passes to open up on those 11 plays made sense. Since then, we've seen them open it up quite a bit in the passing game.
That's the voice of Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. Alyssa Lang on the field. If you're flipping around, watching the Dogs, they lead Clemson 6-0 at halftime. Vandy up 17-3 on Virginia Tech in Nashville at halftime. Over here in Knoxville, it's the Nico Iamaleava show. He's been sensational. He throws to Dylan Sampson. A little screen pass out of the backfield. They love this part of Sampson's game, and you can see why. 19 yards.
It was something they pointed out, made it a point to say, look, this guy's got great hands. And we cannot wait for him to get more reps, use him in the passing game.
And now hand it to him on the next play, and he breaks free up to the 47 as Walker makes the tackle. Behind Sampson, you can see we've already seen Cam Selden, Deshaun Bishop, Khalifa Keith, Peyton Lewis. There's a bunch of options. But unlike last year, there's a true #1 tailback.
Offense, number 87, not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
It's a new tight end from Alabama, Kitzelman. But Sampson is the clear #1 tailback for Josh Heupel.
He's done a good job running the football in this game, broken some tackles. There's been contact at the line of scrimmage. Maybe best characterized in that last run. Picked up probably, what, another 5 or 6 yards prior to the penalty. Good job running after contact.
They just let it run out at the end of the first quarter. The Volunteers and Nico Iamaleava are putting on a show. Great to be back on Rocky Top in week #1 of the college football season, and Nico's got Tennessee up 24-0. More points than any game in the first quarter last year. Nico Iamaleava, sensational, 12 of 13, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns in that first quarter. Dylan Sampson had 60 yards rushing. As he leaves the backfield on this 2nd and 9, they throw it to him. And Dylan with the run after the catch, just short of the first down.
I think we're going to see a good bit of Sampson's engagement in the passing game. And that's not to say that they can't use him as a runner. They will.
Nico throws into the slot to Squirrel White. Squirrel's first catch of the day, team leader in catches last year with 67.
It's an easy pitch and catch. That's a cushion throw.
All day. Surveys, throws to Brew McCoy, 1st and goal.
You're going to find a one-on-one. They spread you out so well. You see the safety. It's on the opposite hash on that throw.
Sampson pays it off. Touchdown, Tennessee. Even a minute into the second quarter and already 30-plus points on the board for Josh Heupel and Nico Iamaleava. Certainly the competition will get stiffer stench as the weeks go on, but what a throw Nico just made to McCoy here.
You see McCoy does a good job climbing the ladder, a little extension demonstrated. And of course Sampson able to finish the drill. Finds his way into the end zone once again. We'll say the fans probably a little disappointed. McCoy got tackled right there. No one gets a cookie if you get tackled short of the end zone. Under there, checking out those iPads. You see that they get those plays almost immediately. They go over and pull them out of the rack. They go back over there, and the coaches don't have drawing up plays anymore, and they don't have whiteboards. They probably do. But they break out the iPad. Hey, look at this.
We were on the field before the game, and we saw Coach Heupel going into the air-conditioned environment. Did he invite you in there? You almost went in there.
I thought about it. The thing is, these iPads, you know, like any other piece of technology, out in the heat, they can overheat. They've got to be very careful about even keeping those things cooled down.
Ball score on all 5 of their offensive possessions so far. This 31-0 start to the season. Tennessee plays 24th ranked NC State in Charlotte next Saturday night. 7:30 on ABC at Bank of America Stadium. Wolfpack had a little trouble with the Catamounts of Western Carolina the other night. Catamounts were leading in the 4th quarter before the Pack put it away.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those where you're thinking, you know, maybe they sleptwalked into this one, although you have to know that not only is it an opener, but it's an earlier game. So a team that you could easily overlook. Regardless, NC State, especially the run game, thought, I don't know. This might be a little more challenging, especially when they run into a buzzsaw like this defensive front.
Topius dump it off to his tight end up to the 39, Jay Gibson. In his 30th career game for the Mocs, he played against Tennessee the last time they played here in 2019.
Well, those guys have been around for a while. Speaks well of Rusty Wright and his program. You've got guys that are talented. They've chosen to stay. Not only stay, but stay for a lot of years.
One-on-one ball incomplete. Looking for Nuno Watley, but Jordan Matthews is right there with him in coverage. Redshirt freshman from Baton Rouge staying with Watley.
That ball a little bit underthrown. Watley had a couple of steps on Matthews. If that ball's a little bit more upfield, you're looking at the opportunity for a big play. When you think about take that shot on first down, obviously want to see if you could jumpstart this offense. More than anything, they need to possess the football a little bit, allow their defense to regroup. They have not been on the field very much.
Hand off to Davis.
Nice tackle. Wow.
Flag comes in at the end of the play as Jacoby Thomas tackled him.
And it had to be Thomas. There was a nice hole on the right side. And that's partly why. Holding penalty. Let's get back to Mox up.
Offense number 67.
Tyrell Ragland.
Yes, they're going to say it's a hold right here, I believe, on the left guard. Yeah, let's see there late. I don't know. And regardless, a decline penalty. So get it back to third down.
I really think this year at SEC Network we should incorporate a booth cam of Stench watching offensive line holding penalties and just what happens to his face and the flashbacks he gets.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know about that one. Anyway, it didn't matter, declined.
3rd and 10 for Artopius. Handed off to Davis. And Reggie will get to the 48, just short of the first down. David Hobbs prevented the first.
You know that play call. All right, so they're going to send out the punting unit. Part of that is out of deference to the Tennessee pass rush. Let's not do anything catastrophic here, but the other is, I think if he's maybe another yard closer to the yard to gain, Mox might have said, forget it, let's go for it. See if you can't extend this drive a little bit longer.
Jude Kelly with his second punt. Fields it off the ground and just got it off. Volunteer might have gotten a piece of that ball. It'll be marked down near the 21. What a start for Nico Iamaleava and Josh Heupel.
The break, 17-3, guys.
Thank you, Dari. How about that over in Nashville? 17-3. Vandy on the lead with the lead over Virginia Tech. Here, Deshaun Bishop on his first carry of the season gets a couple. Nico Iamaleava, a quarterback for UT, 15 of 16 so far. Looking to go deep. Overthrows Chris Brazel, and he had him.
Brazel came off his route just a little bit. He took his foot off the gas right towards the tail end. I don't know that he thought Nico was going to be able to put it up there, not from an arm strength standpoint. I think maybe he thought the ball was going somewhere else. I think he'll learn, newcomer from Tulane. No, you never know where it's coming to you, man.
Joey Housley, the offensive coordinator, said after Iamaleava was the MVP of the Citrus Bowl, first thing he says, man, I had so many more chances. Could have hit a couple more that I should have hit. And you saw the reaction Nico made when that ball is incomplete. Bishop, extra effort, gets the first down to move the chains.
Yeah, you see the big plays and they'll love them. But then you see like a check down right there. Hey, let's get a first down right here, right? Instead of being overly aggressive.
And now hand to him. Not much there. Marlon Taylor. If you're a Chattanooga Mocs fan, you know that name. Preseason SoCon Defensive Player of the Year.
Big body. Nice job by Taylor. Shocking the block, shedding the block. Nice tackle there.
Nico throws to McCoy. McCoy, think those legs are okay? Inside the 45, down to the 41.
He's just so physical with the ball in his hands. Just give him a quick pass. It's almost like a long handoff. They liken him to like a running back. He does so well after the catch.
Facing pressure, Iamaleava throws, but there is a flag down. Ethan Davis Didn't see that ball, I don't think, in the sunlight.
There is no foul for holding. The result of play is second down.
Okay, that's an interesting turn of events. You know, the flag comes out. I thought maybe it was a holding penalty. Yeah, Maliava got hit as he threw, affected that pass downfield. It's Hurd got edge there late in his pass protection.
Nico's going to throw it out to Nimrod. Chaz take it inside the 35-yard line. Sophomore from Arkansas started developing a little rapport with Joe Milton and then Nico as the season rolled on last year. Hand it this time to Bishop. Breaks it. Stay up. No, inside the 10. Just got tripped up by Jordan Walker. Tried to keep that balance.
That was the most productive trip I think I've ever seen happen. He picked up another 8 yards. No one has fallen longer.
Over the top and the easy pitch and catch. And another touchdown to Dante Thornton Jr. Just sneaks it in there, 38-0.
The Tennessee offense is rocking and rolling, and not just through the air, but boy, Dante Thornton sure is enjoying himself in the passing attack for the Volunteers here in the open.
Tonight, SEC football final is back for another season with Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. They'll take you through the biggest stories of the day, break down all the games at 11 Eastern right here on the SEC Network, the ESPN app. That's after the Cats and Southern Miss from Lexington tonight. #1 Georgia leads Clemson 6-0 early in the third quarter. That's a fun one to watch today. Florida and Miami at 3:30. And then tonight, Notre Dame and Texas A&M.
It's a heck of a slate of games today. That was a helicopter kickoff, by the way. That ball was spinning sideways.
Doesn't end there, too. LSU, USC, and Vegas tomorrow. See the slate. Texas with an SEC logo on their field in Austin, playing Colorado State at 3:30 Eastern.
Speaking of logos, we got a couple of unique logos here in this field today. You always see the conference logos. All kinds of things changing in college football now.
It's true. Sponsorship. Reggie Davis gets a couple up past the 25, where Bryson Eason makes another tackle.
Big Bryson Eason. It's crazy. And that guy, you talk about a journey. He's just worked his way to the middle of the line of scrimmage during his career. Guy used to play off the ball. Now he's practically on top of the ball at nose tackle.
Top of Davis, who breaks free and gets a first down past the 35. It's been a long time since that was on top of the press box, and it's back. Home of the Vols. We're in Knoxville on the banks of the Tennessee River. I know you played in the stadium a couple of times, Stench. You just get goosebumps every time you come in here. It just certainly feels like one of the best environments in the SEC.
I played in here too many times. It was not a welcoming environment, that's for sure.
Jamal Lewis, I think, maybe have a little
Jamal
too
Lewis.
many yards against you one time.
Yeah, this guy named Peyton Manning, pretty good. Leonard Little, Al Wilson. They had some guys. Worked out well for them. Not an easy place to play. You were talking about it earlier. When we talk about the playoff aspirations for this football team, the idea of hosting a playoff football game in venues like this one, and few are like this one, that would just be, that'd be spectacular. That is maybe one of the best additions to college football this season, is a home playoff game.
Davis is going to get up to the 40. And look, you want to win the Southeastern Conference. You want to win the conference championship, get a bye into New Year's Day, which is going to feel like New Year's Day felt when you and I were kids again with those quarterfinal matchups. But to your point, can you imagine a home game here in December against a Big Ten team, or maybe Notre Dame or someone like that?
Yeah, just the impact on these towns too. I mean, the college campuses, an on-campus playoff game. That was a great decision.
And minus about 60 degrees.
Yeah. They just swarm it. The front seven, you know, the defensive line we knew for Tennessee was going to be well stocked. Question marks, you know, new faces at linebacker, the third level in the secondary. I'm not certain that this Tennessee, from a personnel standpoint, Tennessee defense isn't better equipped. Coaches love the depth that they have at linebacker, and they have been very pleased with what they've seen so far with their new faces in the secondary.
Coach Wright keeps switching kick punters on us.
Eyes on the potential punt block. Nearly got the last one blocked.
Heath J.U. is back. Good protection, but that's off the side of Heath's foot. Someone that loves the game of golf, I will not say the word. 38-0.
In Atlanta, early third, guys.
Thank you, sir. Number 1 Dogs starting the season in Atlanta. Back home next week. Go to Alabama in a couple of weeks. Also to Kentucky. And there goes Dylan Sampson again. Tennessee's off to the races at game 1. And Sampson gives the Vols a 1st and goal.
Took out the side judge in the process. He got down there so quickly. Keep that guy hydrated. Only thing stopping him today is leg cramps. He has had one heck of an afternoon already.
Benny Wamba prevented the touchdown, but Sampson gets the ball back on the next play and goes in.
So many touchdowns that running out of touchdown celebrations. That one was troubling. Working the Oompa Loompa dance there in the checkerboard. Dylan Sampson. You talked about it earlier, Taylor. They know what they have in him. He's going to be the feature back. He's had a heck of an afternoon already. He and Dante Thornton both.
.461 total yards of offense. Sampson has over 100 yards rushing as he goes into cooler conditions.
Maybe that's the motivation, huh? Get out there, dance around, find a hole, shoot the gap. And if you do it quickly enough, you can come back over on the sideline and cool off. Just this vision there, realizing the creases there, and then the touchdown we just saw. Nice push up front. That offensive front. There's the celebration. I don't know. The detonator. These poor cheerleaders, these guys are going to be cashed.
That guy on the end.
He's struggling.
He's saving himself.
We've had enough.
He's saving himself.
That's more like a calf raise. What's happening there? Get down there, big fella. Let's go. He's like, doggone, I didn't realize. Can we kick a field goal? Something? It's hot down there, too. They're wearing pants. I hope those are dry fit.
Everybody careful out there today. Make sure you're hydrated. It is a steamy one. Feels like it's almost 100 degrees in Knoxville, and it's over 100 on the field.
Or if the cheerleaders go and get iced down, man, they're gonna be jacked after this. The pump alone. As fast as this offense scores, you think about 45, they score quickly. Now you're doing 52 you just did 45 push-ups. That's a quick turnaround. Look at him. Oh man, I gotta get my mind right. Boil a mouthpiece over there.
Gonna ask Nico and Dylan to go move over so they can sit next to him.
Yeah. Hey guys, maybe I'll score right here. Look at them, they're talking to each other. Hey, give me some of that. We're gonna do more push-ups.
Lance Jackson. Not much.
There's not been, we've seen a couple of flashes. Running back's able to kind of squirt through, but there's just been really, really tough sledding. Not much going for the Mocs offensively so far on this one.
James Pierce not out there right now. Haven't called his name much, but we've called just about everybody else's on that defensive front. Good pass there. Artopius as he finds Nuna Watley underneath the coverage for a first down up to the 37.
Nice job by Watley. One of those preseason freaks pointed out by Bruce Feldman. He writes them every year. A guy that is really quick, short area quickness. That time working against Boo Carter in coverage.
I'm going to miss the Coach Saban outbursts. He had one last year when Nuna Watley caught a 54-yard pass against Alabama. Coach, of course, now with us, working for College Game Day. Lance Jackson, not much, maybe a yard. Jeremiah Thielander, who has seen a lot of action in the last couple of years with the Vols, really since November. He's been a significant contributor, made the tackle, 2nd and 9.
The defensive coaches, Coach Banks, is really excited about Thielander. In fact, Coach Heupel mentioned him as well, where they love what he brings to the table. An explosive athlete, not scared to get downhill.
New linebackers coach too, by the way. William Inge comes in replacing Brian Jean Marie, who went to Michigan. Somehow Artopius got that ball off as Boo Carter was all over him in the backfield.
So watch Boo Carter. He's going to trigger into your screen from the slot. Thielander looked like he was a little confused, actually. Thielander should have been breaking out. Pick up the would-be receiver out there. Banks has been an aggressive play caller defensively opposite this Tennessee Volunteer offense. And talking with him yesterday, a lot of emphasis has been on the new faces. He's excited about nearly all of them. They feel like they've got all the parts they need.
Prior to the snap, delay the game. Offense number 9, 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
Just some pre-snap confusion. They're trying to be deliberate, obviously. 3rd and long. Last time we saw them on a 3rd and 10, tried to pop a run, ended up in a 4th and 2 scenario.
4 first downs and 88 total yards for Chattanooga here in the first half. It's 3rd and 14. The Mocs are 0 for 5 on this down today, and they just hand it off. Jackson taking past the 35 up to the 36.
It's just so difficult. We talked about it on the top. They got to find a way to try to stay on schedule. It's really challenging, going to be challenging for most teams to keep it 3rd and manageable. If it's going to take that many, there has not been a lot of those situations today for the Mocs offensively.
That's Jermod McCoy, the other number 3 that's back there to return this punt. A man Russmore already in mid-season form.
Really is.
You have to have 2 threes back there.
Oh
Look
boy.
at that out the side of his foot from Kelly. Now get down to the 30. The stellar lineup rolls on at 4:15 Eastern. It's the Gamecocks hosting Old Dominion at Williams-Brice Stadium. We cap the night in Lexington as the Cats host Southern Miss Mississippi State and Eastern Kentucky, Ole Miss and Furman, Auburn and Alabama A&M are all on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. You can watch anywhere. Dave Neal now has some competition for a man that wants to play more golf than he does, and his new broadcast partner, Aaron Murray, who that guy is next level obsessed with the game. Looking forward to watching them. I think they'll have a good one there today. Selden is in the backfield next to Iamaleava, and he led Nimrod a little too far. That is only the 4th incompletion for Nico.
And probably really the only one that we've seen that was not an on-target throw where he wasn't throwing under duress. Think about one before where he got hit from behind as he released it.
Had trouble with the snap there. Most quarterbacks would have lost about 5 or 6 yards on a play like that. And he's so big. As you were saying as we were walking off the field, it's just hard to tackle him.
Yeah, it's just like he ends up hitting like a bank shot, it looked like, off of Selden's back for a second. That ball was just kind of spinning around. Didn't field the snap cleanly. Maybe took his eyes off of it, the shotgun offense.
Did pick up 4, so it's 3rd and 6. Vols are 4 for 6 today. Stepping in front of the football is Josh Battle, as McCoy would have had a first down. Good play by Battle. And the Vols will punt for the first time.
Really nice protection. Battle is underneath this throw. One more step, and that is a dangerous decision. So of the series that we've seen, you know, an off-target throw to start this one.
So when you use both feet, does that make you a switch kicker?
I think it does.
Jackson Ross, all SEC freshman last year, is going to use his right foot this time. Takes a Mox bounce on Ross on his first punt of the season. Only 24 yards.
Moccasin defender lost his helmet during that play. He was running down the field with his helmet in his hand. You see that every day.
End of August on a hot day for Coach Wright and the Mocs. Dolly singing, all the fans are trying to keep cool. Watching Nico Iamaleava in Tennessee whip up on Chattanooga 45-0, just 2:53 to go until halftime. And just to serve as a reminder here, the 2-minute timeout coming up. A new rule in college football this season. Artopius, oh my goodness. He was clobbered back there. Tyree West was the first one to him.
The bottom of your screen, you see Puller. It looked like the back was going to help. It didn't. Ended up trying to pick up. They have an overload blitz on that side. You're trying to run a little play action. Instead, Artopius deep in his drop. Tyree West clobbered him.
5th career sack for West. Davis going the wrong way, and this should get us to the 2-minute timeout. A new wrinkle in college football in the 2nd and the 4th quarter. Think about that as you're trying to win a game down the stretch.
What's up, y'all? Peter Burns coming up on the Farm Bridge Halftime Report. SEC schools are looking good early. Georgia off to a great lead. And how about anchor down for Vanderbilt? We'll get you ready for the nightcap of all those games. And, gentlemen, I think this whole Nico kid, he might have a future out here in Knoxville. What do you guys think?
My goodness, Pete. 19 of 24 for 282 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half. Tennessee does call timeout there with 1:53 to go in the half. Maybe wanting Nico to go through those 2-minute drills in preparation for next week's game and the rest of the season. stopping Chattanooga on that third down. Coach Heupel off to such a great start as the head coach of the Vols, 46 years old in his 4th year at UT. 55-20 overall as head coach. Of course, that includes 3 seasons at UCF. 9-4 last year, finished number 17. And Kelly again, that sideways punt. McCoy fields it, and he gets up past the 40. There is a flag down on the field. And you were saying it, Stench, it's the first time in 20 years that Tennessee has had consecutive top 20 seasons. Philip Fulmer in 03 and 04 had that. Heupel.
During the kick, holding, return team number 12. The 10-yard penalty is enforced into the kick. It'll be first down, Tennessee.
Heupel won 11 games 2 years ago and 9 last year. You think it's been 17 years since they've been to Atlanta to the SEC championship game. It's been 26 years since they've won the SEC. Of course, that year they also won the national championship. These fans have been so starved for this, and they have it. They have a consistent winner now.
This is something that, yeah, they have been yearning for. And we mentioned it, it's not just momentum among the Vol Nation. This program is starting to spool up these wins as well. You think about 2 seasons ago, what they were able to put together last season, the way they were able to finish that season. The big win, shutout victory over an Iowa team that was not great offensively by any stretch, but was pretty salty defensively. Boy, was that one heck of a foreshadowing of what you could see from this offense under that young man's direction. Nehemiah, I mean, he's just done such a fantastic job.
Citrus Bowl MVP, but today it's even better than that. He did get that one deflected by Jamar Jones. I think Coach Heupel and Coach Halsley want to see how Nico handles this little quick 2-minute offense before he hits the showers.
Yeah, situational football, right? So coming out of the 2-minute timeout, you're going to get a possession. What does it look like?
McCoy gets up near the 25, just short of the first down. Vols have 1 timeout left. And 3rd and 1, first down completion to Brazel. See, the clock does stop under 2 minutes like it always has, but you have to get under 2 minutes for that to happen now in these days. Iamaliava runs out of the pocket. That's a good ball. And it's a catch by Ethan Davis. Big tight end straddling the sideline.
So you see him a little bit late on that one. Probably had a shot to Brew McCoy. Was not on it quickly enough and was able to come back to Davis for a completion.
16 yards. Iamaliava across the middle. Threw behind his intended target that time. It was Squirrel White.
You said it there at the end of this play. Just behind White. You still want him to come up with that catch. Tough catch. Ball was behind him. They got a chop block against the Vols.
Personal foul, chop block, offense number 70 and 6. 15-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Andre Karic and Dylan Sampson combine on Jamar Jones, who is now hobbling off the field.
Yeah, that is, call it a textbook chop block. Not sure that, definitely was not intentional, not designed for it to have worked out that way. Jamar Jones, one of those depth players along the moccasin defensive front.
So now 1st and 25. Back inside the 35. Iamaliava takes a shot. Joseph Backhole unblocked, got to him back at the 29.
Clean and from the blind side. So you think about what Tennessee was wanting to accomplish with this possession. A penalty and now a sack.
Myers Park High School product from Charlotte, North Carolina. Wow, almost a grab there by Holden Stays, but can't make the catch. Another flag down.
Offside. Defense number 31 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Defense finally doing something for the Mocs, and Harris makes the mistake.
Still a deep hole off after that chop block for the Vols to climb back out. Obviously, as explosive as they've been here in this first half, certainly not insurmountable for the offense.
Second and 24 rather. Iamaleava runs out of the pocket and gets up past the 35, pushed out right there. So now 3rd and long with 27 seconds left. This is really the only thing that hasn't been smooth for Nico in this first half, is this 2-minute drill.
You think that really just the one punt here in the first half, and then they got, after the 2-minute timeout, a little bit clunky on this one.
And Selden goes straight ahead on what could be the last play of the first half.
Yeah, I see the handoff. They're just playing for the locker room now. Not a great finish for the Tennessee offense, but boy, what a start. They call it 99% of these first 2 quarters.
493 total yards of offense. Iamaleava throws for over 303 touchdowns. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Pride of the Southland on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app.
You talked about the cheerleaders and how hot they were probably getting with the push-ups. Look at the band. Man, that's a lot of coverage.
It is sweltering down there as Josh Heupel walks up to Alyssa.
493 yards of total offense so far. How would you evaluate the efficiency from that side?
Good start. Really don't like the way we finished it the last 2 drives. We got to come out and play better ball in the second half.
Can we expect to see Nico again in the second half?
I don't know. We'll get in and figure out what we're going to do.
Thank you, Coach.
22 of 28, 314 yards and 3 touchdowns for Nico Iamaleava, and Dylan Sampson ran for over 100. All Vols on Rocky Top. We'll send you to the studio after this timeout.
This halftime report is presented by Farm Ridge, the official frozen snack of the SEC. The band and the DJ right here is playing Not Like Us, and I think that's a fair way to talk about Nico Iamaleava. The big question is, will we see him in the second half? He's right over there, warming up. All right, that's been the SEC halftime report presented by Farm Ridge. Back to Taylor and Stitch.
Thank you, Pete. We appreciate that. As you just said, it was the Nico show in the first half. The most passing yards ever for a Tennessee quarterback in a half. Beat the record by 1 that was set by Tyler Bray. So a historic first half for Nico Iamaleava. And looking at this stat sheet right here, 22 of 28, 314 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you consider it's the first time he's ever played in the stadium as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, you could see why the fans were so excited as the team was coming down to the stadium today during Vol Walk. They could not wait to see Nico take the field here at home. They obviously were very excited from the postseason. He did not disappoint, and it started early on. He did a great job of improvising the first play of the game. He extends it. They're able to get down the field, stab one in the end zone. The running game kind of helped ease into this contest, but it didn't take long for the passing game to get going. He was really efficient early on. We haven't seen hardly any off-target throws. I can think of 2, one of which he was being hit from behind. Otherwise, a remarkably efficient first half for a first-time starter here at home.
Chattanooga will start at the 25, Alyssa. All right, we'll get to Alyssa here in just a moment as we start this second half. Mocs will get the football first. See if we get any more Nico Iamaleava. I don't know what more there would be for him to do after such an impressive first half. We will get more from Chase Artopius at quarterback. He'll dump it off again to his big tight end, Jay Gibson. We will pick up 8 yards from the Cleveland that Kenny Chesney likes to sing about, Cleveland, Tennessee.
Jay Gibson's been a bright spot for the Mocs offense. That's been a productive play for them. Gone to it a couple of times, able to pick up some positive yards to get it to a second and manageable. This is a playbook kind of a play. Lots of opportunities as a play caller here.
And a first down throw up to the 40 to Sam Phillips.
You know, Taylor, you say, will we see Nico here in the second half? Coach Heupel was not happy with the way they finished the first half offensively. Last 2 offensive possessions, a punt, and then a really inefficient, we'll call it 2-minute drill, end of half drill after that 2-minute timeout. So we might very well see them, if nothing else, to send a message to the team that you have to remain not only composed, but focused on the task at hand.
It is a good point. You're not just coaching for today, you're coaching for the entirety of the season, and you have to figure you're going to need that 2-minute hurry up offense to be effective at multiple times during the season. Thielander came up and tackled Davis there after a couple yards.
The snaps that I've seen of Thielander in here, he's got some nice burst. He gets downhill quickly from his linebacking position.
Mock starting the season here in Knoxville and then at Georgia State in Atlanta next week. Hit as he throws. Good ball by Artopius to Nunu Watley, and he's down to the 36-yard line. It's the biggest play for the Mocs today.
Nice play action fake in the backfield. So you see kind of they're trying to sell that wide zone. He pulls it, stabs one in there to Watley. Nice completion. Far and away the greatest success we've seen the Mocs offense have so far.
22-yard completion with Omari Thomas in his face. Artopius won't go that way, turns around, throws, and it's a perfect ball down to the 18 to Sam Phillips.
Well, we talk about the improvisational skills of the other quarterback. What about Artopius here? So he's trying to get outside, looking to kind of half roll out, ends up having to redirect. A great job of finding one of his favorite targets rather in Sam Phillips. And maybe could have even drawn a flag there towards the end. Not a ton of contact. I like the no call there. Let him play.
In the red zone for the Mocs for the first time. Davis down to the 15. And Elijah Simmons making the tackle.
Your head coach Rusty Wright, you've got to be thrilled with the way your team has come out here in the second half. I mean, they got punched early in the first 2 quarters, and you don't always know what you're going to get coming out of the locker room in a lopsided game. And you want to find out what kind of DNA your team really has.
To the ends, just short of the end zone, incomplete. He's looking for A.J. Little. Tyree West pressured Artopius there.
That time coming all the way across, and West gets upfield quickly. Artopius took a big shot at the end of that throw, ball just a little bit behind him. You see the Mocs going to more RPO type plays. And Artopius make the read after the snap.
3rd and 8. Down to the 10, flags everywhere. Watley be just short of the first down.
Looks like the mic is down. It was offensive pass interference on the mocks. We've seen this a couple of times this afternoon, Taylor. You know, the Chattanooga offense seems to have something working. They get a negative yardage play or a penalty that undoes the forward progress. They were in the red zone with a completion for positive yards, and instead you end up with that offensive PI. But where they'd had some success is the run pass option plays. You're asking your quarterback to make a read after the snap. And Artopius had done a good job. You could see Coach Wright's not happy with that call.
So instead of 3rd and 8, now 3rd and 23. And a handoff to Davis. Down to the 25 where Will Brooks makes the tackle, and we'll see if Coach Wright elects to put some points on the board. Jude Kelly, who has been punting some today, is also the kicker. He had a 48-yarder last year as his long of the season, 8 for 10 last year, 43 yards on this attempt. And Chattanooga is on the board. 10-10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Presented by Allstate on a steamy hot Saturday in beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee. Vols are starting the season strong, up 45-3, thanks in large part to Nico Iamaleava's terrific start, threw for over 300 yards in that first half rather. Mox just scored for the first time. Short kick fielded at the 30-yard line. Down to Alyssa.
Guys, one of the storylines coming into this season for Tennessee is the return of wide receiver Brew McCoy. We'll see in just a moment how much responsibility he has left in this game today. But Tennessee fans remember well, on this field last season, he suffered a season-ending leg injury, and he went through quite the journey after that. He told me it was hard to articulate thinking about being back out here on this field today, a little bit anxious, but more than anything, he was so grateful because he didn't know if he'd ever play football again. More on Brew a little bit later.
Yeah, I was hoping we would eat cookies, Alyssa. We'll tell you more on that coming up. As Gaston Moore is in the game and throws it to Holden Stays. Stays will pick up 9. Gaston is the 5th-year senior from Hilton Head, and he's been with this coaching staff longer than Josh Heupel's been with Tennessee. He was at UCF with these guys, and then he came over here. He's the 3rd-string quarterback the last 2 years. See the limited action in his career. Can update that number now to 11 completions after that 9-yard catch. There is a player down on the field for Chattanooga, and he's on it's near the Tennessee bench, I believe.
It almost seems like Gaston Moore should have like a slash offensive analyst, a guy that's knows this offense inside and out. I'm not sure what they were working on over there on the sideline.
Coach Heupel now with Moore, and we could see Jake Merklinger as well, a true freshman who's the 3rd-string quarterback. Handoff to Selden. Cam gets into Mox territory. That's his 4th carry of the day and his best one for 13 yards.
Really was. Kind of had to pick his way through the interior portion of that offensive line.
Moore slings it near the sideline, and it's a good ball to Squirrel White. Number 99 in Squirrel's career.
You know, offensive coordinator Joey Halsley, he made it a point to tell us, look, Gaston Moore knows this offense, but he can, quote, drive the football downfield. He can make the throws.
As evidenced by that last throw. Now to the end zone. Out of the end zone. Brazel tried to drag a foot. That official was right there to witness it, though. Let's see it again.
He's trying to slow down. You can tell he knows. Yeah. Right foot clearly out of bounds. Good job by the back judge all over it. Just one step. That ball hung up just a hair too long.
Moore 6'2", over 200 pounds. Could have some coaching in his future, we hear. Selden almost scored, but he gets the first down as Batiste prevented the touchdown.
The Tennessee offensive front, it's interesting. In a tempo offense, usually you see a ton of just inside zone. Everybody kind of stepping with the same foot. There's not a lot of time to get assignments down. They pull an offensive lineman on more than half of their runs.
The pressure that time by Zion Rutledge.
That time an inside zone run there. But a lot of times you have to work on your assignment. You're actually pulling for a specific player. Their ability to communicate up front so quickly, it just adds another element to this offense. Makes it very difficult to defend.
Selden won't get much. It'll be third down.
Another nice play by Rutledge. Triggering upfield quickly. This time the Mocs defense able to find a way to get the ball carriers stop before they can really get downhill.
You don't see Coach Heupel slow it down that often, but he has here on this drive for Moore's first drive of the game. What does Gaston do on a 3rd and 10 here? Need to get around the 14 to move the chains. There's plenty of time. Throws to the back of the end zone again. Brazel's out. It'll be 4th down.
Looks like he could have come to Nimrod on the out cut. And you can see Coach Heupel maybe a little bit frustrated with that decision. It was late, trying to force it in there. Probably could have picked up a first down and preserved the possession. But you mentioned it, far more deliberate pacing that time for the Tennessee offense.
Gilbert made his first career field goal last time he came out here. West Tennessee's Max Gilbert now kicking for East Tennessee's Volunteers. And he knocks it right through there, 48-3. Doesn't matter where you're from in this state, they love the Vols. Let's check out the good hands play brought to you by Allstate.
Well, there's a lot to choose from in this one, but let's give it to Dante Thornton Jr. Guy that he's battled some injury too, and since he's been here with the Vols, man, he's had quite an afternoon. Looked that one all the way in with those big old paws. Might not see a ton more of him here in the second half.
How about that? 3 catches over 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
The second time in his career he's been able to do that. Big target, literally, 6'5". He's every inch of it.
Speaking of the other side of the state, J.T. Carver from Martin, Tennessee to kick off. He's got a cannon for a leg just like Turbeville does. Take the kickoff out of play in college football, Stench. Not in the pros anymore. It's going to take us some time to wrap our minds around that new rule. Talk about new rules.
Looks weird.
Our friend Joe Buck had to spend his entire open in that preseason game explaining what a kickoff is going to look like now in the National Football League.
It's odd. Very odd looking.
And shout out to our friend Mike Keith, the voice of the Tennessee Titans in this state. I don't know who's watching Vols today. He'll do a good job explaining that when the Titans tee it up next week. Lance Jackson gets a couple of yards up to the 28.
You know, it's interesting. We were talking about these these games played in pro stadiums. Obviously, Tennessee be playing in the Carolina Stadium next week. These iPads, they're showing video. In the pros, it's just still photos. The NFL does not have that capability, allowance, we'll say. In all the stadiums here in the SEC, they've been wired up for those feeds.
Topius tried to get it across the middle to Phillips. But Jordan Matthews with great coverage there.
So we're talking with folks that are in charge of that process here, and you know, they have to go into these pro stadiums and make sure that both teams have access to their tablets. You see there, that's like the tablet cave, trying to keep them cool.
On this 3rd and 7, see if Artopius can move the chains. He can. Up past the 45 to Chris DeMarcant. Alyssa.
Stinch, you were talking about those iPads. It's been really interesting to watch it for the first time here on the sidelines. I've been on the sidelines of the SEC for about 7 seasons now. And a lot of times when you have, say, a young offensive or defensive lineman, they come out after a long drive, come over to the bench, and the O-line coach is trying to describe that moment in the midst of that long drive where maybe there was a missed assignment or a missed block or something. Now they have it right there ready to go on those iPads.
Yeah. It's like almost real-time film review. And, you know, the real question is how much time do you devote to that? These guys got to kind of reset. It's like the fog of war. Come over the sideline needs to be a little bit of a sanctuary. You can potentially overdo it when you've got access to
It is going to be fascinating to see how it changes everybody's strategy. I don't think it's going to change Coach Heupel much because of the tempo that he uses already. But the technology last week, Stinch, in Ireland, they have a different carrier over there than they do here. So
like stone tablets,
like Florida State and Georgia Tech both had to use a different type of technology, and then it stopped working. And so then, of course, both teams can't use it.
Somebody dropped the chisel? What happened?
Sam Phillips gets the first down again. That's a heck of environment over in Dublin. Watch the Jackets shock the Noles. Hey, speaking of the Jackets, Georgia Tech, they play Georgia State for the first time ever in the battle for Atlanta tonight. You can watch that on ACC Network with our friend Wes Durham and the rest of the crew there tonight. And of course, Georgia State plays Chattanooga next week.
New head coach Del McGee, longtime running back coach. You see defensive backs coach Willie Martinez out on the field trying to get his guys lined up. Del McGee, the longtime running backs coach at University of Georgia, taking that job over at Georgia State. Sean Elliott joining the coaching staff up there at South Carolina. Georgia Tech. Yeah, again, that's right. Yeah, again. There's an interim head coach, former O-line coach up there. You know, we were talking with the coaches yesterday, specifically with Coach Halsley, and what they did, how they changed, they being the Vols, in their approach to the season, because it potentially could be a very long season. One almost commensurate with the length of an NFL season as far as physical practices. Another completion. Tobias. And it was interesting, Taylor, you know, they were saying we had to be cognizant of how physical we were with these guys. So you have to wonder what kind of impact that's made on some of these openers, how physical they've been in practice.
That was Zaire Thornton that caught that last ball, and Jackson was met in the backfield on that play by Jordan Ross, 4th down.
Great job by Ross at getting upfield. Trying to get to the edge was Jackson, and Ross did a great job of penetration. Watch him get underneath the block, expecting your offensive guard to get there and help you. Said Minot and Ragland end up getting split on that one.
I thought this might be no man's land, but it's a 55-yard field goal attempt by Karajic. This is Alan Karajic, who a senior from Chattanooga. Yep, there's the last man in, and Coach Wright's going to have to burn a timeout.
Well, he's fired up.
Chattanooga has called their first charge timeout of the second half.
See if Coach Wright changes his mind here, or he does in fact try to kick this 55-yard field goal with 2:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. All Vols So far, read and react with Cole Kubelik and Roman Harper is back for another year. Each week they take a look back at the biggest plays, players, and games from the weekend. The season premieres Monday night at 7 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. My man Harp was working on his golf game quite a bit this summer. We bumped into each other a couple of times. I know he's pumped to be in the studio with you Tuesday nights with Alyssa as well. Cole will be at Kentucky and Southern Miss tonight. Should be a good one in Lexington. From 55 yards, that's hooked.
Had the leg.
Still 48-3. A couple of minutes to go in the third.
Rolling the Tigers in Atlanta, guys.
What a statement to start the season there, Dari. Here, Caleb Webb spins out of a tackle. And he gets the first down. Webb, the sophomore from Powder Springs, Georgia. Gaston Moore at quarterback on his second drive. Steps into that throw to the other side. Another good ball. Brazel still working. Down near the 42-yard line. Good start to the season for the #1 team in college football today in Atlanta for Georgia.
Yeah, kind of a slow start. It looked like offensively, a couple of field goals early. They were definitely able to get it going. Another nice run.
That's Deshaun Bishop.
But really, the Dogs' defense, man, stifling, it would appear, in the opener.
We're just about 15 minutes away from the next big matchup involving an ACC and an SEC school, Miami at Florida on ABC. Moore, he lucky to get another attempt on this next one as he wanted to throw it to Caleb Webb. And Taylor Smallwood just about picked it off. He didn't know the ball was coming to him.
Yeah, it almost was like it could have even been intended for Nimrod, who's underneath it as well. Would have been really tall for him, but they were both receivers kind of in the line of that throw. It was high and with some serious heat on it.
2nd and 10. This is a good one to Brazel. Nice turn after the catch. It's understandable all the attention that Squirrel White and Brew McCoy get. They deserve it. But this guy was terrific for Tulane last year. Brazel I'm talking about. 44 catches there.
Kind of burst on the scene a season ago. All-conference performer over there in the American.
Bishop, touchdown.
Nice patience on this run by Bishop. See him just kind of wait, let the blockers get out in front. Good job by Kitzelman. Pulling around, getting engaged with the defender.
That has to feel good right there, Stench, for a guy that was injured last year, a highly decorated high school star right here in town at Carnes High School. And it's 55-3. And the lineup rolls on. Coming up next, South Carolina hosts Old Dominion at 4:15. Then tonight, it's Kentucky and Southern Miss on SEC Saturday night, presented by T-Mobile. Those are all the other games you can get on SEC Network Plus. Jeff Lebby, the new coach for Mississippi State.
A brave new era down there at Mississippi State. Last season, kind of a lost season for the Bulldogs. They're eager to get going again. And here's our cheerleaders. Oh, wait a minute. They cut those short. There's no way. They did not do 55 push-ups right there.
Hey, by the way, last year's coach of Mississippi State, Zach Arnett, now is on the staff for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss.
Sacrilege in the state of Mississippi. That does not pencil. But I know it for really either party, because I feel certain the Ole Miss folks got to be like, hang on a second, he's a double agent. Lane Kiffin, I think in some ways Lane Kiffin was benefited from the mindset of like a Nick Saban. Some of these head coaches that need a chance to stay in the game. Zach Arnett's a good coach. Did not have a good year as a head coach.
And of course, Lebby used to work for Lane.
Yeah. And the wheels on the bus go round and round. It's just one big washing machine. Very disappointed in the cheerleaders. Those guys just, I mean, if you're gonna do push-ups, do all of them, right? Now we're just doing 7 push-ups at a time.
I am sure you would be doing all 55 if you were instructed to do so down there.
I would try, at least. I would do the calf raises like my man at the end of the row last time.
Topias tried to sling it in there into some significant coverage. Looking for John McIntyre, and Jacoby Thomas had him wrapped up. Thomas comes over from Murfreesboro, where he played for Middle Tennessee.
Well, that's a nice break. Should break on this ball. And nearly got there in time to get a turnover.
Topias out the back door. Throws over the head of his target to be 3rd down. Hey, speaking of Murfreesboro, I want to wish Derek Mason, our old colleague, some luck at Middle Tennessee. He replaced the legendary head coach Rick Stockstill after a terrific career there. We'll miss D. Mace. He's such a good man. Enjoyed having him on the SEC Network family. But he's back coaching what he loves to do, just down the street from where he used to coach, for the Vanderbilt Commodores, who, by the way, they're over on ESPN right now, and they trail 27-20, but they're driving against the Hokies. The Hokies, 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to take the lead there. 3rd and 10, Reggie Davis. It's his 18th carry of the game. Jamal Wallace wrapped him up.
Yeah, Davis, a guy that they're going to have to lean on hard this year in the ground game, a different type of runner for the Mocs offensively, and just has not been able to get untracked today. That's not a surprise. A sizable challenge today for Chattanooga in the run game.
Saying that's Cam Selden that's deep. But his name says Carter. Boo Carter with the fair catch at the 33-yard line. So the Vols next week go to the Queen City to Bank of America Stadium to take on the Wolfpack. That'll be an awesome atmosphere. 2 rabid college football fan bases. Come back here the following Saturday night on SEC Network to play Kent State. And then Josh Heupel.
Yeah, the Heupel Bowl
goes to Norman, Oklahoma, where he won a national championship, to play against his alma mater. That'll get a lot of attention. You got to go to Fayetteville after that. Gators come to town. Then the Tide comes here at Georgia and Athens in November. Stench, don't be surprised if this team is playing football in that new college football playoff in December.
You know, Arkansas looked pretty good in their opener now. Incredibly efficient. It was all 10 offensive possessions, scored on every one of them.
On the last play of the 3rd quarter, that's Peyton Lewis, the freshman from Salem, Virginia, with his first carry. We're back to watch the 4th quarter here on SEC Network in just a moment. That first Friday of the 12-team playoff, and then 3 more games on Saturday the 21st. Quarterfinals on December 31st and New Year's Day. Could the Volunteers be one of the teams in it? Gaston Moore, backup quarterback, is in there ready to throw, and he gets it out there to Caleb Webb, and Webb's down at the 40-yard line. Late flag comes in.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 42, late hit on a defenseless player, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play, and includes an automatic first down.
Both of those players are from Powder Springs, Georgia. So chances are they've known each other for quite some time. Webb went to, Rutledge went to Hillgrove High School, and then Webb went.
Oh, McEachern. How about that? They're in Powder Springs.
Handoff to Peyton Lewis. True freshman getting some action today for the Volunteers.
Another 27 out there. We saw some of the legendary numbers being played up here during one of the breaks.
And Moore, that's to Webb again, and more flags down.
Yeah, probably going to be an illegal touching here. I think maybe there's a chance that Webb ran out of bounds, wasn't forced out of bounds, and then was the first to touch the football.
And now it's a player downfield, offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Instead they end up, that happens from time to time when you see it.
So we just talked about Peyton Lewis, a true freshman who's gotten some action at tailback, who's on the field right now. And another true freshman out there that the Vols like a lot that's snapping the football, William Satterwhite, freshman from Barberton, Ohio, the heir apparent to Cooper Mays at the center spot. Moore gets it out of there, and a good ball to, it's complete, and it's right near a first down. That is Dayton Sneed with the catch.
Some of the Tennessee fans are going to wonder if you're even allowed to play football without Cooper Mays at center.
Just short of a first down, and then the freshman Lewis moves the chains. There are a couple other true freshmen that I know Volunteers fans are eager to watch. Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley both not playing today. Coach Heupel said for health reasons he was going to wait to see them in their debuts, but Matthews had a big 63-yard touchdown catch in the spring.
Parkview High School grad.
I knew you were going to get that in there.
Yeah, buddy.
Lewis down to the 25. You see so many players switching schools these days, and that seems to get a lot of attention, but there still are true freshmen making a difference in the game. Moore, it's dropped. That was Charlie Browder, the tight end.
Had it. Just got a little bit eager, wanted to turn upfield. Went right through his hands, nearly a pick. Pretty athletic roll there after the drop.
Moore, oh, it's picked off. This is Kobe Joseph trying to go the distance. It's a foot race. He won't make it down to the 10-yard line. Joseph, the Harvard transfer. Nathan Leacock prevented the touchdown.
Tries to jam it in there. It was out in front, looked like it deflected up a little bit. Yeah, just got to run through that throw. That's on your receiver that time. You're expecting him to run through the throw. Instead, he kind of throttled down. End up a pick the other way and get Joseph some oxygen. Look at him. That was a long run. It's been a long afternoon. The defense has played a lot of snaps. On the field a lot.
Davis down to the 9.
72 snaps for the Mocs defense. Joseph trying to take it the distance. You see sometimes you'll get those linebackers back. Hopefully he's over there hitting the oxygen. set his offense up with excellent field position.
Deepest penetration of the game for Chattanooga on a 2nd and goal. Davis again. This time down to the 7, where Tyree Weathersby makes the tackle.
Can they convert? Last time the Mocs got inside the red zone, they ended up getting a penalty and being pushed back out of that red zone, resulted in the field goal that we see on the board now. And they capitalize. There are no first downs to gain right here. You got to put it in the end zone.
Artopius, one-on-one ball to the corner. Incomplete. It was Phillips and Beasley. Phillips caught it, but he was out of bounds.
One-on-one.
Oh, Beasley got his hand in there at the end, too.
Great job by Beasley to finish through the football. Looked like Phillips was going to be able to come up with that one. Great job by the Mocs defense to even set up this field goal attempt.
A 25-yard field goal attempt by Jude Kelly. And he hooked it. For all that, the Mocs come up empty, and Tennessee will get it back. This is the home of the national champions in college baseball. In Omaha this past June, winning that championship, and everybody is celebrating. You know, there's so many people outside the stadium today, a few hours before he got here, that are wearing 24 t-shirts on the back, of course representing this year's national championship. Proud baseball school. Jake Merklinger is in at quarterback for the first time ever for Tennessee, and he'll hand off to Khalifa Keith, a sophomore from Birmingham. Merklinger's a freshman from Savannah, Georgia. He threw for over 3,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions in his senior year at Calvary Day High School there. That's his first completed pass, and it's a good one for a first down to Nathan Leacock.
Now I loved Halsley's story about Merklinger. He said they went down there and watched him play basketball. And they said they're in some cage of a gym. It's rough, intense. They said he was just giving it as good as he was getting it. And he just got it there. All 4 guys sacking him. Like a little bit of miscommunication out there on the perimeter, but they loved his competitive spirit. He said,
let's give that sack to Kai Teo, by the way.
Josh Heupel was like, that's our guy. This is our guy. Let's go get him. The competitive spirit. Oh, a little hard count.
Offside, defense, number 57, in the neutral zone with contact. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Yeah, they were, Coach Halsley was saying that Merklinger is fearless. Like a little more fearless than you would expect a true freshman to be at times. But you like that. It's got some moxie to him in August, and that's why we're getting to see him play in the first game of the season. Keith has some space and gets up to a first down.
Tennessee's been able to see some football from just about everybody. Here today, Merklinger being one of them. We knew that talking to the coaches. They said they fully anticipate getting guys in there if the game goes well, and it certainly has.
Merklinger, he said he could run, and he gets a few there up to the 49. Emmanuel Dixon with the tackle. There's 9 minutes left in a week 1 win for Tennessee, and get ready for NC State next Saturday night in Charlotte. It's about 4 hours to get back home for Alyssa and me. Vols will head over there. It's about 2.5 hours away from Raleigh, so you really will. You could have a split crowd there next Saturday night.
point,
Tennessee
yeah.
travels like nobody's business, and everybody knows that.
Especially considering the season they're anticipating, right?
Yeah.
This will definitely stoke the flames, this kind of performance.
Good catch. Down to the 43-yard line by Trey Weary. His first catch of the day. Sophomore from Houston. Merklinger, another underneath throw and another great catch by Weary. Just keep doing it.
Well, if it's there, might as well get it, right? He's looking out there saying, huh, this is almost, call it free yardage.
Prior to the timeout being called, the previous play is under video review for the ruling of the catch.
Weary, the sophomore from Houston, is credited with consecutive catches. Haven't had much to review or look at today. In fact, this is the only review we've had in the game.
I'd like to do a review on these moonshine cookies we got up here. We're going to eat those suckers.
It's a good point. So, folks,
Oh,
we were supposed to eat a moonshine
this looks like a catch. Great job there.
Moonshine Mountain cookie today
That's what it is.
if Brew McCoy caught a touchdown pass. As part of the deal is when he catches a touchdown, everybody gets free cookies. And I'm sorry to report that it doesn't look like the whole entire stadium or all of Knoxville is going to get them, but we are. That's because we went there yesterday.
Say we preempted the whole process.
We went there yesterday just to plan for this. Now, Alyssa has some of her own down on the field, so.
We give any to Burns. Didn't Burns get one? Peter Burns for the SEC Now live show?
That depends on whether or not Alyssa shared them.
Yeah, fair enough. As they're checking out the DV Sport replay there. Looked to me to be a catch. But yeah, we had to know, right? You're going to do that type of a promo. What kind of cookies are we talking here? And there's a lot of different places you can get cookies, but wow. These are, they're difference makers.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
Huh.
So Tennessee will have the ball at the Mocs 35 on this next play. On a 2nd and 2 after consecutive catches by Trey Weary that stand. And Keith will get a couple of yards. You ready to tackle this? I've got the
But really all game.
this is chocolate chip. You've got a chocolate chip. Russ and Kevin have their cookies in here as well, but thanks to Moonshine Mountain, as Keith gets down near the 30. I know Alyssa, where is your cookie?
Well, I had to find a air-conditioned room to store the cookies where I did not think I'd be able to actually eat them because it's like a furnace down here. So I just ran over to get them. I don't know where my camera is, but I'm down on the left, to the left of Tennessee's bench outside the dotted line. Looks like you gave me 2 M&M, Taylor? What the heck?
Hey, you know what? You don't have to eat them both. Save one. I'll eat the
I
other
mean,
one.
I'm
What's going
going
on?
to eat them, but, you know, some variety would have been nice.
Wow, look at this. Unbelievable.
It really is kind of unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow, I can't believe this. I made a special trip to deliver those cookies.
Yeah, and that's the response we get.
Unreal. Hey, did you keep them over there with the iPads? Those iPads will keep them cool. They got a little iPad cave, could be a cookie cave.
Weary with his third catch of the drive.
By the way, I've had a lot of chocolate chip cookies. It's hard to make them special, right? We've all had them. But I don't know what they've done to this cookie, but it is amazing.
And it's Keith again, and he gets down near the 10.
For the record, we did confirm there is no moonshine in the cookies. Just the name.
Apropos for the region we're in.
We didn't find out, does Brew, I wonder if he's a big proponent of these cookies?
Oh, yeah. Look at Keith. Hard running inside the 5. First and goal, down to the 3. And for just the third time in program history, the Vols go over 700 total yards of offense.
Goodness. Wow. And the pads are still popping down there.
Keith is met in the backfield that time by Justin Gilmore.
Good job by Gilmore. Getting to the mesh point on that give. A couple of big licks delivered on this drive. We can hear them all the way up here, even over my chewing of this cookie.
Maybe that's our thing this year, desserts. We've gone all around the SEC the last few years eating at various great restaurants. I'm not suggesting we're going to stop doing that, but maybe we shout out desserts this year as Keith moves the ball all the way down to the 1. Good hard running between his pads.
How about this Mocs defense? They're going to fight trying to defend every blade of grass here late in this contest. Kelvin Morris down there still battling away at defensive tackle.
3rd and goal from the 1. Keith. He got in there. Khalifa Keith.
Nice push on the inside. And like you said, some good hard running. Keith able to get his name in the box score.
Josh Turbyville gets to kick this extra point, and he knocks it through there. It's 62-3 with 4:06 remaining in Neyland Stadium.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
What a start to the season on the banks of the Tennessee River here in Neyland Stadium for Nico Iamaleava and the Volunteers. He set a one single half record for passing yards in the history of the school, throwing for 313 in the first half. And the Vols just under, or excuse me, they're just over 700 total yards of offense for the third time in school history, leading 62-3. Over in Nashville. It is over. Vanderbilt beats Virginia Tech in overtime. Good start for the Southeastern Conference, already 2 wins over the ACC today. Wow, how about that? Big story today, Dari, with that win against the Hokies. A great atmosphere there in Nashville. Clark Lee gets another big win for Vandy 2 years ago. Remember, they were playing these Tennessee Volunteers, and they were 5-6 going in that last game of the season. And last season certainly didn't go the way they wanted. Luke Schamberg's at quarterback, and he hands it to Journey Weish, and he gets 8 yards. So Georgia takes care of Clemson. Vandy surprises Virginia Tech. Florida and Miami just underway today. There's 3 matchups today with the SEC versus the ACC. I guess Notre Dame sort of kind of is in the ACC.
Sure.
A little bit.
Ish.
They play Texas A&M tonight.
Occasionally. An occasional ACC member. Rocky start, you know, and even some ACC on ACC crime, knocking off a top 10 team, Georgia Tech over FSU. Helmet pops off.
It's Weish for a first down up to the 40.
Tyrell Ragland, left guard, as helmet comes shooting off. He's going to have to leave the field for at least a snap. You know, Chattanooga's going to have to find a way to regroup. They knew what they were facing. Tall task today. It's a pretty big mountain to climb. Made a couple of plays, put themselves in position to score. They could have had more than 3 points. The interception returned by Kobe Joseph.
And now Weish. Not much that time as Jalen Smith makes the tackle. Coach Banks says he can rotate about 10 guys on his defensive line, another 5 or 6 at the linebacker position. This is a deep team. You got James Pierce, of course, who is expected to be one of the first picks in the draft if he does decide to go into the draft next year. Big O, Omari Thomas, Joshua Josephs, Dom Bailey. Omar Norman Lott is on the Reese's Senior Bowl watch list. Of course, that's played down in Mobile, Alabama. Weish gets a couple of yards and it'll set up a third down. There's a deep defense that's only given up 3 points today. It is the 2-minute timeout in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Colorado State.
What a time in the SEC to have OU and Texas both in the conference. Never expected Dari Noka to give us a Texas update on an SEC game, but here we are in 2024. Just 2 minutes to go in this game where the Vols lead 62-3. Nico Iamaleava was terrific today for Josh Heupel's Tennessee Volunteers. 3rd and 13 for Luke Schamberg in this offense, and Luke throws, and that's a good ball right near the sticks. Zaire Thornton makes the catch. It'll be 4th and short. Certainly thinking about the entire Heupel family. There is Josh's dad, Ken. Josh's mom, Cindy, passed away this past May. Ken is always on the sideline watching his boy coach the Volunteers. That is a family committed to coaching and to higher education. A tight-knit family. And I know all the Heupels certainly miss Cindy, and we're thinking about them today on this first football game of the season in 2024. JU has it blocked. I mean, right into his breadbasket. Jordan Ross, touchdown.
Tennessee's been close a number of times in this game. It's been a dangerous play, so many punts by the Mocs in this one, and it was close numerous times. They finally got home right here at the end of this contest. Now the special teams up on the board.
They had 4 blocks last year on special teams and already 1 in the first game of the season.
Watch get upfield right now many times. Just a fantastic job. Didn't really even have to lay out. Ross just goes up and blocked it with almost both his hands. This been a prolific day on offense, and now, of course, more push-ups for our guys. Somewhat abbreviated performance once again.
Ross, the freshman from outside of Birmingham, Vestavia Hills. What a start to his career. JT Carver to kick off with just 1:07 left in the game. And a reminder, coming up in just over 10 minutes from now, Williams-Brice Stadium will be rocking as the Gamecocks and head coach Shane Beamer host Old Dominion to start the season. Lenora Sellers, the quarterback of the Gamecocks now.
A young guy out there at quarterback, right? One of two. We just saw one here today. Lenora Sellers, a lot of excitement in and around his potential. Another dual threat type of quarterback.
And Weish for a few. Vols next Saturday night at 7:30 in Charlotte. Play number 24 NC State on ABC. Georgia State and Chattanooga meet next week in Atlanta. Next Saturday, we are headed to College Station, Texas. Peter will be on the air at noon Eastern time, and then we're up at 12:45 for the Aggies against McNeese State. First, the Aggies have to take care of Notre Dame tonight.
A lot of interesting games to open this season when you think about it. Already some surprising outcomes. Including the one you just talked about with Vanderbilt over Virginia Tech earlier. We've seen some upheaval early on in this season.
Looks good from every vantage point today for Tennessee on a 3rd and 4. And Jackson won't get much, and that should be the last play of the game. Nico Iamaleava is the story. 22 of 28, 313 yards and 3 touchdowns in just one half of football as Tennessee starts the season with a statement victory over Chattanooga, 69-3.
It started fast for the Vols. 11-play drive. Got to see some runs and passes. Then they opened up that passing game. Man, they were hitting on all cylinders. Wasn't until really the end of the second quarter before that offense seemingly faltered. Defense was very stout. An impressive performance in all the areas you would expect.
36 first downs, a new school record, 717 yards. That's the 3rd most in school history, and the 2nd most points in school history with 69. For Matt Stinchko, Melissa Lang, Ryan Jordan, and our entire crew, I'm Taylor Zarzer. So long from Knoxville, where Tennessee beats Chattanooga 69-3. South Carolina and Old Dominion coming up next on SEC Network.